Hello, and welcome to QuickTale English. Today, we explore a modern nightmare turned into a funny adventure, the day without internet. Eliza was 28 years old and lived almost entirely inside the digital realm. As a freelance graphic designer, her connection to the internet was not just important, it was essential. Her window to the world, her office, and her social life all lived on a screen. She lived in a large modern neighborhood called Willow Creek, but she knew her neighbors only by their Wi Fi network names. It was a Tuesday morning, and Eliza was preparing for a video call with an important client. She had a major project deadline later that afternoon. At exactly 9 a.m., the computer screen went black. Not just her computer, but the small modem lights on the desk died as well. The profound silence that followed was broken only by the gentle hum of the refrigerator. Eliza tried everything she could think of. She checked the modem, restarted her laptop, and checked her phone. Nothing. No Wi Fi symbol, no 4G, no signal at all. The digital world had simply vanished. Initially, she felt a powerful wave of frustration and panic. This cannot happen today, she muttered, pacing her small apartment. She needed to send a file that was too large for an email, if she even had email. She imagined her client waiting, impatiently tapping their fingers. After half an hour of technological failure, she realized she had to leave the apartment. She was forced to find an answer in the real world. Putting on her jacket, she felt a strange mix of anxiety and curiosity. She walked out onto her street. The street felt unusually quiet. Usually, she could hear car horns, the sound of music, or the distant ringing of phones. Today, there was only the sound of birds and the wind. It was unsettling. As she turned the corner toward the local mini market, she saw a small crowd of people. They were standing outside the shop, talking loudly. This was already unusual. People in Willow Creek rarely spoke to each other face to face. In the middle of the small gathering was an elderly man, Mr. Henderson, who lived 2 doors down from Eliza. Mr. Henderson was a retired engineer, known for his somewhat grumpy demeanor and for wearing heavy tweed jackets, even in summer. He rarely left his house. "It's the main fiber optic cable," Mr. Henderson announced loudly, holding an old transistor radio pressed to his ear. "Massive failure down at the junction box. The radio reported it. No internet, no fixed lines, no cell service for the entire district. It could be hours, perhaps even until tomorrow." A young woman near Eliza groaned loudly. "Until tomorrow? My life is on my phone." Mr. Henderson just scoffed. "Your life used to be outside, young lady. We survived before the phones." Eliza felt a strange sense of defeat, but also a small, unexpected calm. The deadline was officially impossible. She was off the hook. Then a friendly, energetic man stepped forward. This was Leo, the owner of the small coffee shop on the corner. Leo's face was usually stressed by the morning rush, but today he looked oddly relaxed. "All right, people," Leo called out cheerfully. "My shop can't process card payments, so I can't really sell anything, but I have a huge pot of coffee made. We're going old school. Free coffee for anybody who helps the community. We are having a day of real tasks." Leo proposed a system of bartering. He needed someone to deliver his special sourdough bread to a customer 3 blocks away. He needed someone else to help him move heavy bags of coffee beans that had just arrived. Eliza, who usually avoided physical work, felt a sudden impulse. Boredom was a powerful motivator. "I can help," she said, surprising herself. "I need something to do." "Excellent," Leo smiled, his eyes shining. "Eliza, right? You live near Mr. Henderson. I have a mission for you. Many of our elderly residents don't know why their phones aren't working. They need reassurance. Can you deliver 10 handwritten notes to the older people on Elm Street? Tell them it's just a cable break and that the power is fine." Eliza agreed reluctantly. She took the stack of notes and started her mission. The physical act of walking slowly, looking at the houses, was something she hadn't done in months. When she reached the third house, Mrs. Peterson opened the door. Mrs. Peterson was over 80 years old. "Oh, thank you, dear," Mrs. Peterson said after reading the note. "I thought the world was ending. My grandson usually calls me every morning." She didn't just take the note, she invited her in. They sat and talked for 20 minutes. Mrs. Peterson offered her homemade chocolate chip cookies. She told Eliza stories about the street when there were no cars, only horses and carts. Eliza realized that she had never had a genuine conversation with anyone in Willow Creek. The time passed quickly and pleasantly. As Eliza delivered the last note, she accidentally took a wrong turn down a narrow path between two large apartment buildings. This path was not visible from the main street. It led to a spectacular, secret place, a large, beautiful community garden. The garden was full of flowers and vegetables. It was a peaceful oasis. Eliza was truly shocked. She had lived in Willow Creek for 5 years and had no idea this place existed. She had spent 5 years looking down at a screen, not up and around. Leo arrived moments later. He was carrying an empty bread basket. "I thought you'd find this," he said, smiling. "It's the neighborhood best secret. We built it 10 years ago." They sat on an old wooden bench and talked for a long time. They talked about the strange freedom of having no deadlines and no notifications. They talked about the peace of the sudden silence. After several hours, just as the sun began to move lower in the sky, a flicker of light returned to the area. A small, familiar ping came from Leo's pocket. "The internet," Leo said, looking at his phone with a mixture of dread and relief. People immediately rushed back to their phones, checking thousands of missed notifications. The digital world roared back to life. Eliza, however, did not grab her phone immediately. She held the last homemade cookie from Mrs. Peterson in her hand. She looked at Leo. She realized the day was not a disaster, but a gift. She had made real connections and found a hidden garden. She finally sent her work file to the client and dealt with her deadlines. But the first non-work email she sent was to Leo. The subject line read, "Willow Creek Community Meeting, Saturday." Eliza's life was changed. She still used the internet for work, of course, but now she valued the real, deep connections she had made. She knew that sometimes the greatest adventures happen when the screens go dark. Thank you for joining QuickTale English. Subscribe for more stories about life and adventures, and continue practicing your B1 English. See you next time.